Good morning. I'm sad. I woke up this morning, and as I was sitting on the potty and looking into the shower, because that's kind of like, sitting there, and if I, look to my left, there's my shower. And I just think about him, because that is where he died. I'm amazed I'm not, traumatized every time I go in the bathroom, but I'm not. Sometimes that kind of, I don't know, blows my mind. Bad use of words. I didn't want to go through this life alone without him. I really didn't. I knew someday one of us was going to die, and I never wanted to think about that. And the funny thing is I always figured it would be him first. One, because he's a male. Two, because he had sleep apnea from the get-go, since I'd met him. Three, because he was overweight and loved his Snickers bars. Liked to drink. Not a lot, well, enough. When he came home from work, he'd sit down with his Tanqueray and tonic. Ah, Denny. He needed to unwind, and I guess that's the way he unwind. He would unwind. I don't know. Bad use of English. So I always figured he's going to go first, right? My glasses are filthy and I can't even see through the... I can't do this. I'll be right back. Better. Dennis had this really ridiculous sense of humor. Sometimes even a stupid sense of humor. And I'd be like, really? And other times I'd scold him. Will you stop? And in the end... one of my last prayers was, the last few years. I know I don't talk to you anymore, God. I know we're on the outs. But please, if you just would save him, I'll never, ever scold him with his jokes again. If only he would joke, if only he would smile. He couldn't smile. It was the strangest thing. Everything took so much effort. I don't want to live without him. And while it gets easier to bear the loss and the extreme pain that it brings, that longing to have him in the car seat next to me while I'm going down that highway, that's never, ever going to end. That never feels less painful. I am approaching 1 year of his death, and I'm sad. At first you're fighting it. No, this can't be. This is just gotta be a bad dream. I'm gonna wake up. I'm going to die too, and then I won't have to feel this pain. But there it is, reality. He's not coming back. I'm not dying that I know of. Knock on wood. I won't even bother knocking. Some days, I'm sorry, runny nose. I don't know, some days I feel like, why am I here? Why do I keep going on? I don't want to some days. I don't want to. That's the truth. I just don't want to do this. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about this, the vast everything. I don't want to get up out of bed. I don't want to brush my teeth. I don't want to make my coffee. I don't want to hang my laundry, and I don't want to fold my clothes, and I haven't been. I got this pile going on. Depression. Sadness. No, I'm not going to try to knock myself out of it. I'm going to dwell in it for a little while. I just want to feel sad. I want to feel sad for him, and sad for us, and sad for everything we lost. And I don't mean the material goods. Oh, gosh, I would have lived in a tent with him. I swear to you. I like tents. When we first came down here and we were trying to find a place in this area, anything to live in, we were looking at rentals, we were looking at motorhomes. Yes, we were. Back then, he could still walk up the stairs. Oh, bless his heart. He was still about 140 pounds. He'd lose 20 pounds in the course of, what, 2 years? Wow. Because he was already thin, you know, at 140, okay? He should have been about, 168. He was 5'9". I know what the new charts say, but that's skin and bones, and I don't know. I don't think that looks healthy on a man, or like a man. Mourning your loss after 1 year. Does it get easier? I think you just realize, I don't know that it's really easier. It's just kind of like the realization comes to you. All the crying in the world is just not going to change this situation. And I guess what I do is I muster everything that's inside me and I say, press on. Just keep pressing on. And then I find something and I start to do it. Like all these boxes. The ones that I'm done with really need to go in that shed, but sometimes I just don't give a fig. I love figs. I was just thinking about dry dates early. Okay, let's go with it. I'm trying to collect things together for my van life. So I ordered some things, and they're coming, and we're going to open the boxes together. In fact, a box came late yesterday afternoon. Do you want to see what I got? Okay, I'll show you. 1 minute. It's a paper shredder. Look, Amazon brought it. It's 6-sheet cross-cut shredder. Cross-cut? Does that mean it goes this way? I guess we'll find out. Shreds credit cards, clips, and staples. It'll do it all. 3.4 gallons. So I have all this really sensitive paperwork with, social security numbers, banking stuff. So I wanted to take it to one of those free days on the main road. They do it over by the government center. Free paper shredding this day and that day. It never came. I don't have a vehicle. I don't pass that way like I used to all the time when I went to the grocery store, So, yeah. So I says to myself, I'm going to buy a paper shredder. It's only $30, and it was $30, and when I'm done with it, I'll give it to the kids. Maggie and Mike are so hard on things. I think I'll give it to Denny. Nothing against you guys, Maggie and Mike, but I don't know. Accidents happen a lot over there. She'd admit it. You better admit it if you're watching this, Maggie. Sometimes she watches my videos, but boy, they've been really busy lately. So, we'll shred my paper together when I'm actually in the mood to do that. I don't think I better do this because I'm ready to stab myself, I can tell. Ugh. Dang, that thing's heavy. Huh. So it'll do everything. It'll shred paper clips and staples. Credit cards, dang. I like that. Kick butt. Wish I had a big one. I could put it in front of my van door in case anyone tries to break in and just... Ew. I'm a sick person. The kids and Dennis always hated how I could just imagine things in their full... You know, I would describe it and they'd all say, Ma, enough. Sorry. Maybe I watched too many horror movies as a kid. I don't like them now. Though Dennis and I did watch the Halloween series. Just because it was so thoroughly ridiculous and reminded me of that car insurance, was it? Do you remember that advertisement? See, I don't have TV anymore, so I can't remember. It was where, you know, they were reenacting like Chainsaw Massacre type movies, and like this guy has all this thing. Why can't we just get in the car and drive off? No, we can't do that. And that's kind of what Halloween reminds me of, you know, the series, the movies, that ridiculous, you know. Anyway, let's move on to another subject. What other subject? Where am I at? 11 minutes. I wonder if I should quit here. Things are going south in my mind. I started off with mourning and I ended up with the Halloween movie series. Michael Myers. That was thoroughly ridiculous. I mean, seriously, but I liked watching ridiculous stuff with him. We loved The Twilight Zone. Oh my goodness. As a matter of fact, my daughter bought us, Rachel, she bought us the entire series, and it's sitting in a box, ready to go to a sale. And I keep fighting that. Should I keep... I don't know. Should I keep my movie player, DVD and VCR player, and some of my movies? Nothing brings me that big a thrill anymore. Nothing. I did it with him, so I loved it. I loved watching all the old Twilight Zones and talking, and he'd ask me stuff about, look up that actor. And I'd look it up and I'd read to him about actors, about, you know, different things that went on during certain filmings. And that's how we passed our time in his later, you know, the last couple years. Oh, Dennis. I don't know. I just don't know what to do without you. I guess I'm just gonna pick up my little girl panties and press on. Some days I just don't want to press on. I just wish I could lay down in the grass and be hit by lightning. No, I'm sorry. Not that way. Hit by lightning. Do you ever feel that way? You just don't want to play anymore. I'm done playing. But you see, there are other reasons I have to go on. That's the other thing. Maybe you've got a little doggy or kitties that you love and take care of. I've got my kids and they need me. They call me every day. One of them calls me every day. Sometimes they just need to vent and they know I can take it. I want to be there for them as long as I can. Some days it's just so hard to want to be here. But I am. and I have this. And I'm needed there. Somebody might be feeling this way today and like, how do I go on? I wish I knew. I wish I could give you some advice. I guess the only advice I can say is take your kitty or doggy for a walk. Get a kitty or doggy if you can afford it and tolerate it, because I gotta tell you, no, I'm just not tolerant of pets. No. First of all, in a van, it would be very difficult on a little animal. That isn't right. And I know there's a lot of van lifers out there, and if you're one of them, and you know, I don't mean it as an insult. I just feel like my idea of being free for me is being mobile. So I guess I'm thinking the idea of being free for any animal is probably also to be mobile. They want to walk and run. They want to bark and jump. They want to do those little doggy kitty things that doggies and kitties do. I suppose I could do it in a van, but Rachel says that Mojo, her doggy, he hates the vehicle. He gets all excited when he knows he's going, but once he gets in it and it starts moving, he gets sick feeling, and he's just kind of like looking at her like, can we stop now? I said, how are you going to do this? She said, I don't know. I said, stop often, let him out, let him run around a little bit. He's getting older. I think he's like 8 years old. She found him, there was a shelter, and they were in the park, and he was one of the little featured dogs, and he had a little red bandana around his neck, and he has one blue eye and one brown eye, and she just fell for him, you know. They just meshed. It's a funny thing. She wasn't really a pet person, but boy, is she ever now. Bless her heart. What is this playing? This video's playing on my laptop. I didn't even start it. Go figure. Well, that's it. I'm done rambling and talking mindlessly, but I guess in the next few days I'm going to probably talk about mourning a little bit and how sad it's been feeling lately. It's almost incredulous. Has he really been gone a year almost? Just within a few days. He'll have been gone a year. Oh, how can this be? And all those wonderful stops and the wonderful places, I can see them in my mind, and I can see us together. Lately, though, I see it with him in the wheelchair. So frail. Oh, it hurts. That's the other thing. If you can just not go there, if you can just redirect your mind elsewhere, it helps. If we don't think about it, believe it or not, that's an awful thing to say. If we don't think about those painful times, it hurts less. And sometimes you can't even think about the happy times because that hurts worse. Sometimes that hurts worse. So there are times I just push it away. Don't. That's the best I can do. If you have a way that you deal with your loss, please put it in the comments below. I'd like to know. I always had, you know, my junk food to turn to. In times of severe stress, I'd eat. I can't do that now. I'm on a different path and I want to do better. So, goodbye chocolate and sugar. It's hard to live without that. Oh, lately, all I think about is potato chips. I want a bag of chips, and I want to eat it all. I never could really eat it all because my gallbladder can't take it. I mean, I might eat like 2 servings of chips, which would be about 300 calories, and I'd be like, ugh, can I throw these away now? I got to think of that, right? That's the thing. Think of the consequences. Think of the consequences if you just sit in your home and mourn. Think of the consequences of if you weren't here. What would those who love you do without you? Think of the consequences of if I keep living in the past, I can't realize my present and I can't get to my future. So that's how I'm going to end this. Press on. That's the best I can offer you at 1 year a widow. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Talk to you soon. We're going to do the rest of those recipes sooner or later. And who knows, I'll probably have something else to say this afternoon, and I'll post it. Bye.